Hello everyone and welcome to a different kind of GunPla video. This time I'm looking at the 20 kits I would like to see next year. Originally this was a top 10 list, but after talking with some friends and thinking about a few things, I expanded it out to 20 so I could incorporate other series that I'm not super into, but I feel are definitely worthy of having kits. So that's enough prologue, let's get started. Number 20. Master Grade Baku. The Baku is an awesome looking unit from Gundam Seed, and frankly, a Master Grade version of this would be pretty awesome. We just got the Jin, so adding the Baku feels like the next step. Not only that, but you could change a few parts and what have you, and give us the Legao as well. Number 19. Bolt Gundam. Okay, I'm going to say it right here, I'm not really a G-Gundam fan. That being said, I find it highly unfair that G-Gundam is missing out on a lot of its popular units. Most importantly, it doesn't have the entire Shuffle Alliance, which seems completely crazy to me because wouldn't you want to have all of Domon's friends teamed up with Domon? And yet, here we are with basically no one other than Allenby. So, the first one I thought of was Bolt Gundam. It's relatively plain, but if you do the whole ball and chain thing in a way that looks cool, it could be nice. Number 18. Rose Gundam. Okay, so I'll admit it, I'm a fan of the Rose Gundam. I just think the cape looks pretty cool, I like his rapier, and of course the freaking rose bits. Now granted, for a high grade, we're probably not going to see the rose bits as their own things. You're probably going to have to either make your own, or whatever they give us might be a little rough. But if they can do it right, and we can make it look like the rose bits are launching out of the units, that would be pretty awesome. Number 17. Gundam Maxster. Okay, sticking with G-Gundam a little longer, we have the Gundam Maxster. This could easily become two kits. One version that has the football player look, and one version that has the boxer look. Overall, there wouldn't be a lot of accessories that would come along with this kit, like most G-Gundam kits, but it would look cool, and come on, it's the American Gundam. You gotta have some love for the American Gundam. Number 16. Dragon Gundam. Wrapping up the Shuffle Alliance is Saisaichi's Dragon Gundam. This kit would be pretty awesome. In fact, it probably deserves to be higher on the list. Not only would this kit come with the Fei Long flag, possibly multiple Fei Long flags, so you can do that entrapment move, but also alternate arms for the Dragon's Fire as well, and potentially even the butterfly wings for his big finisher attack. What makes Dragon Gundam more awesome than some of the other kits is the sheer volume of accessories that could come with it. Now granted, it's possible that the Super Mode will end up being a P-Bandai exclusive, and it won't come with nearly the amount of extra Fei Long flags as it should, but that being said, it would be a cool kit, especially if they could give us all those extra parts. Number 15. The Hizak. The Hizak is a very old kit. In fact, most of the grunt units from Zeta and Double Zeta are very old kits at this point and definitely need replacement. The Hizak is the first one that comes to mind, not only because we have a new version of the Zaku that they could build off of to create the Hizak, but also the fact that the Hizak has a lot of variants, very few of which have ever been turned into kits. It would be nice to see a brand new Hizak and possibly some brother kits for it as well. Number 14. The Virgo. Yeah, the Virgo. Now we're talking. Beefy boy from Gundam Wing. These mass production mobile dolls are pretty awesome in my book. Not only do they have a cool looking laser gun, they also have that shield system. Not only that, but there's also the Virgo 2, used by the White Fang forces, and the Virgo 3 from a manga, which is a manned version of the Virgo. I'd love to see all three of these kits be produced. Granted, the 2 and 3 will probably be P-Bandai units. But overall, grunt units are always welcomed, and the Virgo would be a really awesome addition. And since they've already made the Mercurius and Vey 8, and the Virgo has a very similar body design, we're already halfway there. Number 13. Big Zam. Okay, I know Bandai doesn't make mobile armor kits, like, almost ever, but hear me out. The Big Zam would be amazing. It is a monstrous behemoth of a unit. You gotta admit, the Big Zam would look pretty awesome on a desk. If you had room for it, that is. While I understand that this is really like pie in the sky level dreaming of a kit to have, I would love to see this big boy. They've made other large kits before in the past, and frankly, I feel the Big Zam deserves its due. Number 12. Real Grade Devil Gundam. Look, like I said before, I'm not a huge G-Gundam person, but we did have a Devil Gundam kit way back in the day. and it is a big boy. But with the advancements in model making that we have, a version of the Devil Gundam that has more articulation and more detailing would be awesome. While originally I had thought to put Master Gundam in here after seeing the Shining Gundam Real Grade, I think the Devil Gundam would be way cooler. It would be a big monster, you'd have a whole bunch of articulation, and ideally, some parts you could swap in for the variant forms of the Devil Gundam. I would love to see this. I think a lot of people who are G Gundam fans would love to see something like this, and if Bandai ever did it, it would probably blow everyone's mind and probably kill their wallet. Number 11. The Batala. Okay, we're going a bit smaller now, but stick with me on this one. The Batala is a mass production grunt unit from the Gundam Crossbone series. It's basically the Jupiter Empire's Zaku equivalent, and frankly, it would be nice to see more Crossbones kits. And if you're going to begin somewhere, you may as well begin with some grunt units. You got your X1, you got your X3, what are they going to fight? Oh, the X2, obviously. Who's going to back up X2? A Batala. Not only that, but there are variants of the Batala, providing us with more kits, which I'm sure will all be P Bandai because, yeah, of course they are. But it would be nice to see a few more Jupiter Empire units on the field of battle. Number 10. The Gundam Alex. The Gundam Alex from Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket is an awesome unit. Unfortunately, its high-grade kit is really old and really shows that age. Not only in terms of some color separation issues, but also the fact that the Chabum armor is really kind of cheap and junky. It really needs a new edition. And considering the fact that we have the Beyond Global design of the RX-78, I feel like the Alex could just as easily utilize that technology to make a better version of itself, with a nicer looking beam sabers and some of the extra weaponry and shield that came with the original version, but done in a much nicer way. And ideally have Chabum armor that doesn't feel like cheap junk. While it might not be everyone's favorite Gundam, I feel with the accessories and everything it would make an awesome kit, and it deserves a better version than the old one. Number 9. Gustav Karl, Hathaway Flash version. The Gustav Karl is the main grunt suit of the Federation forces in Hathaway's Flash. And while we have the two major units, the Penelope and the Kasi Gundam, we also have backup units for the Kasi Gundam in the forms of the various Messer units, but we have no one to really back up the Penelope. Now we do have Gustav Karl kits that already exist. We have a interesting color version from Girin's Greed, and we have the unicorn version because a unit from UC-105 totally existed 9 years before it was actually built. Coolsies. The point is, I want a real Gustav Karl that can fight alongside the Penelope, and we deserve to see something done in the proper design, and honestly, Hathaway's Flash deserves more kits. Number 8. The Gundam Ashtaron. Okay, I know you're not familiar with this, but I'm going to say it right here. I'm a huge fan of Gundam X, and while we do have a handful of the main character units, we're really missing out on basically any villain units, and the Frost brothers are pretty awesome villains. The Ashtaron also has a variant form, thus allowing for 2 kits to be released, thus Bandai makes more cash monies off of people like me who love Gundam X. Number 7. Speaking of Gundam X, the Gundam Versago should also be on the list. You gotta have both Frost brothers together, come on. Plus, its variant form is freaking crazy and I love it, and I would really like to see this duology of units go out there and kick some butt, and it would provide someone for my Gundam X and Airmaster to battle against. Number 6. The Zaku II Kai. In terms of older kits that just really need a replacement, the Zaku FZ is definitely one of them. The original kit had some major issues, including limited amounts of hands it could utilize, it didn't hold the heat hawk right, and look, Bernie used heat hawk at the end of 0080. I want the hands to hold the heat hawk properly so I can pose him for his final battle. In addition to that, having some cracker grenades attached on, and a version of the MMP-80 with the grenade launcher that's sized properly for the kit would also be nice. While the original kit did have some extra accessories like the Type B or Fritz helmet as it's also known, that's cool, but I would really like accessories, including hands and guns, that look accurate to what it should be, and unfortunately we don't have that for our current version, so hopefully we could have a new version, especially since we just got a brand new Zaku in December. Number 5. The Vigna Gina from Gundam F91. I'll admit something here. I have a soft spot for Gundam F91. Not only do I think the F91 is a cool looking mobile suit, but a lot of the designs are really cool, and honestly, Cecily and Seabook are really likable characters. And while we do have master grades of a lot of F91 kits, we don't have high grades of a lot of F91 kits. And a brand new Gina high grade would be awesome. You could give it some cool accessories, give it some nice color separation, and utilize a lot of that new engineering that has made some of the more modern kits really awesome and feel way more versatile and flexible and sturdy than some of the older kits. Plus, the Gina is just awesome looking. Number 4. Master Grade Gundam Floros from Iron-Blooded Orphans. I love this unit, and unfortunately its high-grade version has the stability of melting ice. Wouldn't it be cool to have a very stable, easily transformable Gundam Floros? Don't you want the Ryosei Go out there kicking some butt alongside the Barbatos? Of course you do. It would be awesome, it would look awesome, and it's kind of a shame we don't have a lot of kits out of the second season of IBO. However, since we just got the Gundam Baal in a nice master grade form, I can only hope that the Floros isn't too far behind. Number 3. Perfect Grade 00 Quanta. I don't even have to explain this one, do I? Number 2. The Obsolus III from Gundam, the 8th MS team. Yeah, I love me some Obsolus. I'm gonna admit it right here. It's just a big, dumb-looking mobile armor, but it's an awesome, dumb-looking mobile armor. And much like the Big Zam, I understand that this is pie in the sky and will probably never happen. But just think about how cool this thing would look on your desk, having the 8th team facing off with it in the big final confrontation, the Shuddering Mountain showdown. Ah, that'd be great. While it's probably likely to never happen, I would really love to see this kit in action. Number 1. The Taurus from Gundam Wing. Yeah, shocking, right? A grunt unit. But let me tell you about the Taurus. 1, ever since the old days, I always wanted a Taurus because 1, it's my birth sign. 2, it's just an awesome looking mobile suit that has this kick-ass transformation mode into like a mobile armor jet thing. I would love to see this kit on my desk. Not only the standard version, but also the Sank Kingdom version, because it's just so cool looking. I feel that this one is one of the more likely kits to be produced, not only because we already have a few of the Oz kits at this point, but also the fact that there is demand to see this kit in other formats, master and real grade, so a high grade version wouldn't be too much of a stretch. Now, granted, when it comes to high grades and transformable kits, but if they can make it work, it will make me very happy. Even if it can't transform, I'd still really like to have one of these guys, because it is one of my favorite mobile suits from Gundam Wing. Thank you for joining me for my discussion of the top 20 kits I want to see next year. I know some of these were crazy options, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta have those little wishes that allow you to keep pushing forward in this hobby. If you have kits you want to see next year, by all means, put them in the comments. I'd love to know what everyone else is hoping for. In addition to that, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. My little channel is starting to gain some steam, and I'd like to see my channel grow even more in 2022. Until next time, I'm the Dapper Bard, and I'll see you at the tavern.